Yo, 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 what's poppin'? Hey, it's your boy Finsay with CB83 coming to you for another banger. You guys already know what time it is. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I see 10 in the building. Hit the like button, punch the like button on your way in. We got a lot to talk about today. Ravens week, big week for the Miami Dolphins. Probably one of the biggest weeks we've had in a very, very long time as a team. I got the homie Lou pulling up. I'm going to get him on in a second. And we're going to get straight to it. We ain't going to waste no time today. We got a few things to talk about, a lot of things to discuss in regards to the team. There's just a lot to discuss. Appreciate you coming through. Shout out to the homie Mr. Fanatic coming through. What's good with you, my boy? Is it Sunday yet? Man, the Dolphins are in this weird spot where we're just kind of waiting on these games, man. The anticipation of these games, week in and week out. Only 2 weeks left in the season, in the regular season. It's grind time. It really is grind time. So appreciate you coming through, man. You already know what time it is. Let's go. Sir, shout out to the homie FMP for coming through, always showing love, man. Appreciate you. He says, what's good, CB? What's good, my boy? What's popping with you? With no further ado, man, let's go ahead and get this thing cracking. Shout out to the homie Lou for coming through. Let's get my dog on. What's good with you, Lou? What's good? What's good?
CB, what's good, homie? What's good?
What's good? What's going on with you, man? How you feeling?
Man, I'm excited, man. I'm kind of with Mr. Fanatic, man. I just can't wait for Sunday. Can't get here fast enough, man.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing right now. Sunday is seems so close, but also so far away. And this week has been crazy, right? You got Christmas on Monday, and then you're in this weird space in between like Christmas and New Year's. You don't really know the days. Some people are working, some people aren't working. But the guys are still preparing for football games, right? And the funny thing is that all these games this week have kind of fell on like holidays or like the day before holidays. This one, this game last week versus the Cowboys is on Christmas Eve, and then you have this one this week. It's on New Year's Eve. So it's just like constant holiday pressure, guys, pressure on the team to get wins. And right now, right, we're looking at 2 games left, and the Miami Dolphins have the chance to go get the 1 seed, right? You have a chance to knock the Ravens off and go get the 1 seed. Do you think the 1 seed is important to this team? Do you think it's necessary? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, see, that's a two-part question. Do I think it's necessary? I would say no. I kind of believe in this team. I don't think we need the 1 seed to like get to the Super Bowl. I think this team is good enough that if we had to go on the road, I believe in this team. Now, should we want the 1 seed, or is it important to the team? Absolutely. I think because you basically said it, CB. 2 games left in the season. You have positioned yourself right to go get it. And this is rare territory now for the Dolphins, right? Usually we're fighting until the last game of the season. Maybe we need help. And this, we control our own destiny, bro. So, again, I think, is it necessary for us to reach the ultimate goal? I would say no. But is it important to the guys? I would say yes, because they've gotten this far to this point to put themselves in this position. So I say, listen, now that you're here, you might as well go get it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I agree with you a lot there. It's like it's not a requirement that you get the 1 seed. But since there's an opportunity, why not? Why not take it, seize it, go get it, go all out and finish the season strong, right? And I know, and that leads us into talking about something else too. It leads us into talking about, these injuries, right? Because you're in a position where you have an opportunity to go get the 1 seed. But you do have some guys that are nursing injuries, like for instance Waddle, right? And Tyreek came and said today, and I can understand Tyreek's, where he was when he said it. He's like, hey, I'm manifesting that Waddle's going to be out there. He had a high ankle sprain during the game, and At this point, we don't know if he's playing or not. Supposedly, ESPN has reported that he's not playing, that he won't be available. And Tyreek came out and said today, hey, I'm manifesting that Waddle's going to be out there. He's tough. We know he's a big part of the offense. What's your thoughts? Do we play a guy like Waddle and risk injury, or do we, tell him to push through it? I mean, he's a tough kid. I know he knows his body. He's a grown man, right? So I know he knows his body and what he can and cannot do. But do we risk not having him for this? Like, what's your thoughts on that, man?
Man, listen, I think the team has kind of, or the organization has put an emphasis on kind of protecting players from the self this season. We've seen it with Jalen Phillips. We've seen it a couple weeks ago with Tyreek. And I think, I don't want to rule Jalen Waddle out, but
Yeah.
I would say, if it was me, again, see, and it's tough because to your point and to Tyreek's point about Jalen Waddle,
Yeah.
he wants to play. I'm sure he understands
knows.
the magnitude
Yeah.
of this game. He wants to play.
Mhm.
And again, I just don't,
You know,
man, it's
it's
so
tough.
CB. It really is, bro. Listen, if he shows you that he can go out there and make plays, like if he's running around and maybe he's not 100%, but if he's 80, 85% and he thinks
Yeah.
he can go give it a go, then listen, I'm not going to be mad either way, CB. If they don't play him, I'm not mad. If they play him, I'm not going to be mad neither. It's,
And
I mean,
honestly,
I don't
I
really know how to answer that, CB.
I
That's
know,
crazy.
and it's tough, because I mean, you want players to be 100%, but I also understand that at this point in the season, really nobody is 100%, right? Nobody's out there fully healthy. Everybody's got nicks and bruises, sprains, stuff like that. So I understand that. So, if Waddle's at 85 to 90%, I think you still give him a go, give him a little bit of run.
Mm.
Because I mean, he understands his body, and if he feels like, hey, I'm limited right now, I feel like I could end up injuring myself. Hey, at least he's in uniform. At least he's a possible threat out there. I like the thought of him being a threat on the field because it still gives us opportunities to eat underneath. Hey, maybe with Waddle on the field and Tyreek on the field, the tight end, Durham Smythe, is a little bit more involved. Ingold is a little bit more involved. But I understand Mike McDaniel also maybe keeping him from hurting himself. I understand that too. It's just a tough situation. It really is 50-50. But if Waddle is leaning towards playing it, he went out there in college and played on a hurt ankle and toughed it out. And I think he was much more hurt than he is right now. So I think that's something like we got to take into consideration, and we'll see how it ends up playing out, man. We'll see.
Yeah, listen, I agree. If he's available to play, because I kind of like what you said there, even as a decoy, and I don't want to call him a decoy, but just to have him on the field, the defense of Baltimore will have to respect that, right?
Yeah.
So I see your point about, if he's out there, it opens up the field for the Alex Ingalls, the Durham Smythes, the running backs. It helps the offense. So, again,
Yeah.
it's a tough spot. I'm glad I'm not making that decision. But either way, CB, whether he plays or not, it's not going to piss me off one way or the another. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, you made the the thought of respect, like respecting a guy, and when Waddle's on the field, you got to respect him. You got to respect his presence.
1,000%. Yep.
So that's in 1 second. Damn, my computer be acting up. You still there?
Yeah, I'm
I
here.
got you.
I got
All
you.
right, bet. So I'm back. So, real quick. So you talked about respect. Let's talk about the Miami team in general, right? Like team. So I've been hearing a lot of national pundits. A lot of people have been saying that, hey, this Miami Dolphins team isn't physical. They're a finesse team, and honestly, I've been on the side where I just haven't seen the physicality from this team, right? And when I say the physicality, I mean up front in the trenches, grinding out 4-minute drives, being able to sustain drives late in games. We haven't really seen it like that. running backs running up inside and willing to get the tough yardage. Um, do you think, and we can talk about both sides of the ball and we can talk about the team as a whole, but do you think this team at this point is physical enough? And we can talk about on both sides of the ball. And maybe you want to start with defense, and maybe you want to start with offense. But do you think the team is physical enough? Can we go out there and punch teams in the mouth and get after it? What's your thoughts after seeing this Dallas game? Because honestly, before the Dallas game, my answer would have been a little bit different. But what's your thoughts after seeing the Dallas game in regards to the physicality of this football team?
Well. Listen, before I give my answer, I was just about to say we have a legend in the building.
Man, what is TD talking about here?
We have the legend in the building, TV.
Everybody knows what's about to happen Sunday. What? I mean,
TD, let me speak for the homie. TD's talking about a big dub on Sunday.
Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. TD's
all right.
talking about a big dub for our Dolphins on Sunday, man. Absolutely.
Okay, that's what's up. Because
hey,
shout out to the homie TD for pulling up, man. It's always love, but man, I hope that's what he's talking. I hope he's really talking about a big dub because I'm expecting nothing less than a big dub, and I've kind of he's been on Twitter trolling this week, so I don't know where his mind is. He been catching me off guard for real, but we'll see, man. But what do you think about the physicality of this team, man?
I would say because I heard McDaniel. I don't know if it was yesterday's presser or maybe the day after practice, but he kind of brought it up, right? On the defensive side of the ball, we're fourth in the league against stopping the run. And we all know to stop the run is more about want, right? That's physicality. That's bringing a mindset that we're not going to let teams run all over you. That's a mindset of physicality. So absolutely. And then on the offensive side of the ball, I think he said it there too. This team averages over 100 yards through the season, over 100 yards in rushing. That's physicality up front. That's setting a tone. Hey, we might not have the biggest backs. Yeah. But we obviously have the fastest, right? And we're gonna run it down your throats. And yeah, I think this team now again are in the aspect of like a 49er physicality or a Baltimore Raven kind of. You think of those teams, and the first thing you think of is physicality. I wouldn't say that's what I think of when I think of the Miami Dolphins. That's not my first thought.
Yeah.
But are they physical? Absolutely. I think people get that confused. Because, you got the teams like the 49ers and Ravens. But, yeah, the Dolphins are physical, or they're physical enough to win games. You see what I'm saying? So, listen, I think that's just another weak narrative that they try to put us under this team. And I don't agree. I like what Mike McDaniel said in that presser.
Yeah, man, it's interesting because people do kind of label the Dolphins as more of a finesse team. They think, hey, they have this speed element, right? That's crazy, right? They have this crazy speed element, but they don't have the ability to kind of punch you in the mouth, right? And I think what you're starting to see is you're starting to see like a blend of both of those, especially on offense. Where you have the speed element and then you have the ability to run the football where you need to at times, right? And I know, Mostert got hurt at some point in the game, and Jeff Wilson came in, and he did add another element to the run game that we've been missing, just somebody that gets downhill who's willing to run up in there and just take the pounding, right? And Mostert's done it, right? He's done it, but I think he just can't sustain that, doing that 10, 15 times a game. I don't think that's in his repertoire to do that. So I do like the thought of Miami slowly kind of getting that element into their offense, because I think you're going to need that in the playoffs. I think that's important. Like, you got to be able to be physical with teams and just go out there and run the rock when you need to. When you need a yard, you need to be able to line up and get a yard. Like, point blank, period. Like, that needs to be a part of your offense, and you need to be able to do it running the ball. So I do like that thought. Now, as far as the defense goes, I think our defense, honestly, will be one of the most physical fronts in football, right? I'm looking at Chubb. I'm looking at Raekwon Davis. I'm looking at Siler. Wilkins. I'm looking at
Hmm.
Van Ginkel, right? And that's when they get in that bare front, that 5-man front with those three guys on the interior and Chubb and Van Ginkel on the outside with Duke Riley and David Long in the middle. That's a force. That's a force that stops any run game, right? There's just too much there. There's that's 7 guys in the box, and then you got Brandon Jones and Deshaun Elliott still coming downhill, who are very willing tacklers and willing to stick their nose in there and make plays in the run game. So that defense is as physical as can be, right? And I think we'll see that on Sunday. I think we'll see our defense come out and kind of punch the Ravens in the mouth, right? And that might kind of set the tone
Mm.
for the game moving forward in terms of, what Lamar is going to be facing. Because I think they kind of underestimate us when it comes to our defense and what we're able to do. So it's crazy. It's gonna be a matchup, bro.
I would definitely agree with that. I think you were spot on. So yeah, listen. Again, they just see the way this team is built. They see the speed, and that's all anybody wants to talk about. But I truly believe, CB, this year the Miami Dolphins can play with anybody in the league, and that's why this matchup is so important, right? You got the two best teams in the AFC. They're fighting for number one. You
Mm-hmm.
have the two quarterbacks now, obviously leading the MVP conversation again. So
Yeah,
it's just a big game, man. So as Dolphin fans, dog, we should all be excited for this matchup. These are the kind of matchups that everybody wants to see. You talk about
for
playoff
sure.
feelings, playoff atmospheres. These are the games that Miami has to start getting used to because they're in the playoffs, right? So might as well get these out of the way early.
You got
Learn how
to.
to win these kind of matchups.
You got to. You got to learn how to win these matchups early. And we complained early in the season about the Dolphins not really winning big games, not really showing that they could compete against really good football teams. But Dallas kind of showed us something else, right? It gave us hope for, something else to come, because honestly, I was a little reluctant in terms of like the Dolphins being physical. A little reluctant because I felt like, hey, at times when we need yards, short yardage, we tend to lean towards pass more than we do running the ball. And I feel like sometimes that's a recipe for disaster because those are lower percentage plays, and those lower percentage plays, a lot has to go right. You're talking about receiver separating, quarterback throwing the ball, quarterback having protection, ball placement's got to be good. Separation's got to be great. You still got to catch the ball after you separate. So there's a lot there. Running the ball, you just hand it off. All you got to do is make sure you get the snap, get the handoff, get it to the guy, and he get in the end zone. Now, the offensive line still has the block, right? But it's a much lower percentage play in terms of like a higher percentage play in terms of like being able to score on that. So especially in short yardage or getting a 4th and 1 or 3rd and goal. So that's my thoughts on that. But I mean, let's look at this defense really quick. And we talk about the defense and how physical they can be, right? How do you feel about the defensive player of the year conversation at this point?
Man, that I'm glad you brought that up, CB. I seen a tweet and it's amazing. The NFL, right? And there it is. I'm glad you brought it up. The
Yeah.
narrative is about Myles Garrett, right? He's the runaway defensive player of the year. But if you look at the
Runaway.
numbers, right? Bradley Chubb, okay, Myles Garrett has more sacks. I think he got one before I hopped on the show. He just got one in the game against the Jets. So you can
Okay.
add one there.
So
That's
he's
where he's
what?
leading.
14, he's at 14 sacks.
He's at 14 now, depending on what happened
Okay.
in the game. Now I'm not watching it, right? But let's just say 14. So Bradley Chubb has 11.
Mm-hmm.
Myles Garrett. But then look at all the other numbers, CB. Forced
Yeah.
fumbles recovered, solo tackles, right? So it's like if you're talking about Myles Garrett as the runaway defensive player of the year, man, we never look at it like that. But should Bradley Chubb be in that conversation, CB? I mean, just
Bro,
again, look at the numbers, bro. They're very
he should
comparable.
he should definitely be in the conversation, right? When you do things like have 6 forced fumbles, right? 6 forced fumbles is crazy.
Bro, that's
Two
crazy, bro.
that's I mean, and both of these, and just imagine he could have more too. And I think the sacks, I mean, we're looking at facing two good defenses down the line. And we've seen Chubb kind of whiff on a couple sacks too, bro. And that's the thing too that's killing him is
Mm,
that, if he didn't whiff on those sacks and not get the guy to the ground, take the guy down to the ground, you're looking at he probably has 13 or 14 sacks at this point.
easy, easy.
Easy,
Yep.
right? We know he missed one in the Dallas game where he couldn't get Dak down. We know he
He
missed
missed one in
one
the Tennessee
Tennessee
against.
game,
Yep.
right?
Hmm.
So he's looking at 13, 14 sacks if he just is a little bit more dominant in bringing these guys to the ground. So, I mean, I think Bradley Chubb has played fantastic this year, right? He's had some game-changing plays for us. And to think people were calling this guy a bust, Lou. Like,
I know, bro. It's
I mean,
crazy.
we're really calling for his head. And I know
Hmm.
he came in last year in the middle of the season, which is tough to do, right? You come in the middle of the season, you're trying to get acclimated to the defense. You're coming into Boyer's defense, so it's not the system you kind of typically came from. Now you can see with Fangio, he's just a different animal. He's just playing a lot looser, and he's
Absolutely.
playing more disciplined too. Like technique wise, he's not letting guys get outside of him. He knows where his help is. Man, he's had some really good plays, man. Some really good plays.
Absolutely. Listen, I think he's becoming a leader. Is the word I'm
Yeah,
looking for, right? Like on
yeah,
that defense, you hear the guys. We know the guys we have on the team. But Bradley Chubb, bro, quietly is becoming a leader. I mean, you look at after the game, and I know it really don't mean much, but after the game in Dallas, he's running up and down the sideline, engaging with the fans. You
yeah.
hear him in the presser now talking about
We're,
killing narratives, and they're not
yeah.
done. They want to
Mm-hmm.
get better and stuff. Bro, it's just, I think to your point, he's coming into his own. Last year, coming into again, you spend your whole career at one place. You walk in, you don't know none of the faces. You're getting acclimated. You're probably living in an apartment when you first got here. Now this season, you come in. You probably got your house. You probably got your family settled in, kids. I don't know if he has kids or not, but he probably got more acclimated just to the city in general. Now the defense that he's familiar with. He's been quietly again before, because I'm not gonna lie. The past couple weeks, yeah, you feel the impact, but bro, quietly, I mean, look at these numbers, CB. Bro, that's a very good season, bro.
Bro, that's a great
Very, very
season.
good season. Especially when you compare, again, a guy that he's supposedly now the runaway defensive player of the year. Man, it's Bradley Chubb has definitely put himself in the conversation. So, I mean, think about, like, if you break it down, CB, you could have an MVP of the league in Tua. You could have an offensive player of the year in Tyreek Hill, and you could also have a defensive player of the year candidate in Bradley Chubb. But
Yeah,
the narrative around the Dolphins is they're not good, right? We don't have a strong team. Bro,
yeah.
look, I
These,
mean, you could have two or offensive player, defensive player, and MVP of this league all on one team.
it's crazy, and I think that is exactly why the Miami Dolphins are such a problem this year for teams. Is that they have some really good talent on this team, right? And the talent is playing to the level they need to be playing at. Chubb's playing at a fantastic level. Even guys who are typically like who have been kind of journeymen, like Van Ginkel, right? I mean, he's not a journeyman, but on our team, he's been like a role guy, right? He's made some huge plays this year. Guys like Zach Seiler, who's playing out of his mind, right? Career numbers, right? You can't, I mean, when you look at this team and the way the team is playing, David Long Jr., people said he couldn't stay healthy. He's been the healthiest he's been, in the NFL, right? Playing good football. So we've had a couple guys banged up here and there, Javon Holland, guys in the secondary, Deshaun Elliott at times. But what I respect about Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel is that these guys are plug and play. Everybody's ready to go. Like it don't matter who's called
Mm,
on, who's called
I agree.
upon, whether it's Brandon Jones, whether it's Cater Kohu, whether it's Eli Apple. they're still gonna come in and make plays. And when you got like guys like Eli Apple, who's a savvy veteran, who's played on playoff teams, played on championship teams, and he's like the last guy in your corner room that's coming in, bro. You know you got a solid roster, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
And that's what you want to see. And Mike McDaniel has shuffled the offensive line. Butch Berry still figures out a way to keep the guys ready to go. And it's just, there's no better time than now, Lou. I just feel like, honestly, the way the NFL is laid out, the AFC, the NFC, there's no better time to take it than now. And I think the Dolphins' window is right now. It's like you better go get it right now or you might not be able to get it at all. And I think when you look around the league, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Cleveland Browns, the Ravens, the Chiefs, right? You look at the NFC, Eagles, Cowboys, like everybody's kind of in the same playing field. There's nobody that's really like taking off.
Right.
So, I mean, what's your thoughts, bro?
Bro, listen, I think you're spot on. This is the year for Miami to take advantage of the situation that's been put in front of them. To your point, this ain't a year where you're looking at a team that's 14-2, 15-1. Everybody, to your point, is around equal playing field, right? You look at the records, everything is just similar. And then especially with us in the AFC, I'm not saying that it would be easier, but Cincinnati, their quarterback goes down. Cleveland, they're with a backup quarterback. Really, Josh Allen hasn't played particularly well. They're coming on late, but he hasn't been what they've been. Look at Kansas City, the drop-off they're having. I mean, I'm with you, CB. The time is now, bro. The time is definitely now. You got to take advantage of this moment. And again, I'm not saying go out and win the whole thing, but you should be considered as an AFC championship kind of game or Super Bowl contender for real. Because I just don't. I would pose the question like this, CB, right? In the AFC, because that's where we are.
Yep.
Is there a team that you can say is definitely better than the Miami Dolphins?
Definitely better. Definitively.
That's what I'm saying. Like in years past, you look at Kansas City when they've been on their run. And you can just say, hey, there's some good teams in the AFC, but Kansas City is head and shoulders above everybody. Is there a team in the AFC that you could say on any given Sunday, man, they're just better than Miami?
Man, I can't. And that's the thing.
And that's what I'm saying. Right.
I can't. Now, there's some good football teams, but on any given Sunday, Miami can go out there and beat anybody. Right? I think at this point, the Dolphins realize, the players realize, the coaches realize that it's us versus us, right? We just can't beat ourselves. If we go out there and do what we're supposed to do, we'll be in every football game with a chance to win it at the end, right? And I think this team was there last year, bro. They were a really good football team last year. I want y'all to consider this, right? If Tua didn't go out, and Tua was healthy throughout the season, and there was no hiccups in terms of bringing quarterbacks in and stuff like that. Like, do we think that the Dolphins don't have a shot last year to go do the same thing that they're doing this year?
That's a very strong point. Absolutely.
It's like, come on. Like, I mean, we started out strong last year, man. We started out strong, and we kind of folded down the stretch. But, man, we were right in the same position last year, 8-3, right, with an opportunity to go win some games in December and January and go into the playoffs strong and make that run. And we just couldn't get over that hump last year, bro. We just couldn't do it last year. So I think now we're in a position. I think we learned from that a lot. And I think that's the beauty of timing and the beauty of – learning from, past mistakes. That's the beauty of history, like learning from history. Like, hey, this is what you did last year. And we saw in Hard Knocks, Mike McDaniel put an emphasis on it. Like, bro, we were in the same position last year. We were 8-3. You guys have the ability to turn the tide and go do something different than you did last year. It starts right now, right? And we went out and won a game, right? And changed that, and I think we're just going to continue to plug away. Just keep plugging, keep going week by week. And And McDaniels is preparing his team to play in the Super Bowl.
He is.
Let's be real, bro. He is.
Yeah, he absolutely is. I mean, you can even look at it this year, CB. Look at, okay, we didn't show up week 4 against Buffalo, right? Take that game aside. But the two other games that we consider big games, big moments. Eagles, Chiefs. Really, we
Yeah.
were competitive in those games, CB. We just
Mm-hmm.
a young team trying to figure out ways to win. We just couldn't get over that hump, right? And different circumstances or whatever. We don't have to get into that. But now, fast forward, right? You get another opportunity against a good football team in Dallas. You
Yeah.
find a way to win that game. So this team is learning on the fly how to win, and we've seen this team
Mm-hmm.
win, CB, this year multiple ways. We've won in blowout fashion,
Yeah.
right? Now we're winning close games as well. We're starting to get a complete football team, right? And that's what we all wanted. I think, you know, injuries barring aside, and no team at this point is
Mm-hmm.
100% healthy.
Yeah.
But, if you can maybe get by these next 2 weeks, obviously you got a playoff spot. You can bring up Robert Hunt back, right? You get Waddle healthy. You get obviously Tua has stayed healthy. It's get Raheem Mostert maybe a little healthy and stuff. Bro, I guarantee you, CB, there's not a team in the AFC that wants the Miami Dolphins on that
Mm.
schedule in the playoffs. I can promise you
Not
that.
a team. Not a team. I'm telling you, they don't want to play us, man. They don't want to play us. Our defense, and guys, our defense was nowhere near as good as we are this year. I mean, last year we just weren't this good. We just weren't playing this well, right? This year you got a different unit. And that unit was, I'm telling you, that unit is the difference this year. I'm telling you, we were 8-3, same position last year. I think if our defense steps up and they're as good as they are this year, we probably make that run last year. We just couldn't do it. And I mean, I can understand it. It's timing. It's a lot to do with it. We got Jalen Ramsey this year, different pieces in the middle, David Long and guys like that. Like, it's a different team, but man, it's a more disciplined defense. They're more sound. They understand where they're supposed to be. Um, they make the adjustments, right? If somebody's killing you, they're gonna find a way to isolate it at some point, and that's what I do like about Fangio. He just finds a way to make the adjustments. He does. Um,
Mm,
and I mean, Dan said it on Hard Knocks. He said, "Hey, we'll go out and do this stuff after the Super Bowl. After we go win the
right.
Super Bowl, we'll go out, have fun with the golf clubs, get into the golf simulators, and do the fun stuff after we go win the Super Bowl."
Mm-hmm.
Um, but ever since the Kansas City game, when we went to Germany, I realized that Mike McDaniel was preparing this team to go play in the Super Bowl, right? Um, people asked him, "Hey, why are you out here like a week before the game? Why did you come out so early?" Um, and his answer was, "Hey, I'm preparing my guys to go off site for a full week." Because that's what you're going to do in the Super Bowl. You're going to go out to Vegas for a full week. You're going to
Mm,
have interviews. You're going to have media availability. You're going to have practice out there. So he's been preparing them for the Super Bowl. He's already kind of put in their minds, hey, we're running this operation away from home a week before we have to, because that's what we're going to have to do Super Bowl week in Las Vegas. So it's something that he puts in his players' minds, because it's an expectation, right? High expectations usually yield good results, right? When you set high expectations for your guys, um, they can either go up there and achieve it, or they go and strive to achieve it and they fall a little bit below. But you still want to set those goals, because you want
mm-hmm.
to have those guys try and knock those out the park. So it's gonna be interesting, bro. We're getting down to nut crunching time, and we got 2 games left in the regular season, 2 huge games, Ravens and Buffalo. Um, what's your thoughts on this game? And let's get to the game, and let's talk about like the matchups a little bit.
Man, and listen, for me again, it's containing Lamar, and I've been trying to put this in the atmosphere, at least in the community. CB, we always talk about the things Tua Tagovailoa can't do, right? When we're
Right.
comparing Tua to Lamar, Tua to Josh Allen,
Mm-hmm.
Tua to the thing is, we never talk about what those guys can't do, right? We always make it seem like those guys are untouchable. They can do everything. The game plan for me is simple. You contain Lamar inside the pocket, and I'm not trying to take a shot at
Mm.
Lamar when I when
Mm.
I when I do this, right?
So what you saying? What you say? So what you
I,
saying, Lou?
I'm saying, CB, that over a 60-minute ball game, if you can contain Lamar, if you don't give him, if you don't get your DNs to go too far upfield to create those rushing lanes for him to escape the pocket, right? If you
Yeah.
just play contain, if you can, when you do send blitzes, you blitz them up the middle. If Zach Seiler and Christian Wilkins can keep up their level of production, creating pressure up front, right? And you force Lamar Jackson to stay in the pocket. Yeah, he's going to be able to make throws because again, I'm really not trying to take a shit or take a shot at Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
But if Tua is in that situation, we all see when you keep Tua upright in the pocket, he is a pure pocket passer that can absolutely destroy you from the pocket.
Yeah.
And I don't think Lamar over a 60-minute ball game can do that, right? He's more of hold on to the ball, make plays with his legs, let guys create, get open, get free, let me
Mm-hmm.
take my shots there.
Yeah.
So that's the game plan for me, CB. Contain the edges, force Lamar to be a pure pocket passer, and I believe, in my opinion, that's how Miami comes out of this game with a win.
I mean, I can't disagree there. If you turn Lamar into a passer for the entire game and you keep him in the pocket and you keep him from running, which is, it's easier said than done, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you're just disciplined and you can stay in front of him and you can kind of keep everything in front of you, I think we're going to have a really good shot at forcing him into some bad plays. Because Lamar is the type of player who sometimes he'll get impatient, right? And he'll try to force something um, in order to in order to make a play, right? And sometimes he feels like he can kind of take certain risks, right? Um, Especially when his defense is playing well. But I mean, if our offense goes out and scores points and early and we get a couple stops, right? I think it could get out of hand. But I mean, it's just gonna be a matter of keeping Lamar in check. I think that's the only thing that could hurt you in this game. You can't let him go for 100 on the ground, right? And you got to force him into some tough throws. You got to force him into, and I know there's a lot of guys saying zero blitz, but that's not always the. I don't think you have to blitz Lamar every time to
Right.
put him into a bad situation. I think you can bring a little bit here and there, and I think last week when I was watching the film of the Dallas game, I think Fangio is gearing his guys up for a little bit more blitz because I saw Duke Riley coming. Duke Riley was screaming. David Long was screaming. And we even saw like a couple corner nickel blitzes. So I think it could happen. I think Fangio's got something up his sleeve for this one. Did you see the clip of Fangio talking about the Ravens?
Yeah, when he was the head coach at Denver.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
So
seen that. Yeah, he definitely, he has a
so
chip on his shoulder for sure. Yeah.
yeah, so Fangio really does have a chip on his shoulder for this Ravens team. I think at one point they ran the ball up or tried to run the score up on him, and he just said, "Hey, that's what I expect from these type of guys. This is what I expect from this franchise. Like they don't take player safety into consideration." So Fangio definitely threw a shot, and I think he understands the ramifications of this game. I wanted to show this clip because honestly, bro, we've been having a lot of conversations in regards to Tua, in regards to whether he was a leader or whether he was capable of leading this team. And honestly, bro, I think this clip was kind of telling in the moment because we just don't get a chance to see stuff like this very often. And I know you've
Mm,
seen this. Did you
mm,
have you seen this?
absolutely. 1000%.
Um, and I wanted to get your take on this. We're gonna watch it real quick. and this is off Twitter. This is actually Barstool Sports. But this clip has been floating around a lot. And a lot of people talk about, hey, we're not sure if Tua has that ability to lead. He kind of seems like very like quiet, meek, not willing to take chances. And we'll watch the clip and let's discuss this a little bit.
So you want to do Z?
Let's do it. Like, I'm serious. I'm being so serious. Like, let's do it. Hey. No, don't look at him. Hey.
So Tua in this moment says, "Don't look at him," right, Lou? And I'm trying to figure out kind of what he means by this, but I think he kind of understands the ramifications of what's going on, and we'll talk about it. Let's continue it.
Hey, Reek. Hey, come over here, Reek. Hey, so like it's gonna be G, Reek. So we're gonna need this. All right, we're gonna need this, Reek. Come on. All we need is this first down right here, fam. I'm getting it out quick.
I got you. Get your mind right, Reek.
What do you guys think? Feeling it?
Mike McDaniel, this has to be your best call. This is a critical must-have.
And this is third. This is what? Third and
I
three?
believe in 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, something like that.
Yeah, 3rd and 3. Big moment in the game. We get the first down. We continue on, moving the ball towards kicking the field goal. We don't. We're in a fourth and goal situation. Not 4th and goal, but 4th and, 4th and 3 situation. So critical moment right here in the game.
For both sides.
You got two man.
Hey, corner's over. Hey, it's man.
Get that man Reeves, send him in motion. They know it's man coverage.
They get it to Tyreek Hill. Gets a block. First down and more. Hill inside the 25.
Come on, man. Let's go. Reek.
So, and I wanted to show that a lot of people, they criticize Tua about, not having the grit, not being willing to take it on his shoulders, make the plays. And that kind of comes back to this game manager versus game changer type scenario versus field general, right? What's your thoughts on that clip? Like, what does that tell you about Tua?
Absolutely. Well, and I'm going to talk about this clip and then the other clip that we've seen from Hard Knocks as well, but we'll get to this one first.
Okay.
There's a real impression. Well, first, when he said, "Don't look at him," I think Tua realized in that moment, timeout, the camera's going to be on you.
Yeah.
You don't want to be talking to Reek to give any telltale signs that the ball's going to Reek, even though the defense probably knew it was coming. It's still, so I'll give Tua credit on that. The one thing I took out of that is when Tua started speaking, did you see Mike McDaniel just walk out of the play?
Just walked away.
Because Tua is the leader, right? That's why Mike McDaniel can walk away. Mike McDaniel can say, you know what? I had a conversation with my quarterback. Now the players are coming around. Let my leader talk to the men, right?
Let me get out the way, right?
Let me get out the way. That's the biggest thing for me, CB. When I seen that clip, I was like, look at Mike McDaniel get out of there. Right, that shows growth in Tua.
That shows great leadership in Mike McDaniel, right? Just saying, hey, this is you. This is on you. You get your guys, talk them up, do it the way you want to do it, right? And I feel like the best leaders, right? They let other guys lead, right? They let the people below them do their job. Like the best leaders are the ones who just empower people to do really, really great work. Right. And that's trust, right? That's like trust in your guys. Hey, I trust you. I know in this moment you're going to get it done. You're going to make the play. Let's go do it. And I think that's the beauty in Tua progressing, right? Because honestly, in past regimes, I don't know if Tua is empowered like that to go make the call, right? Talk to his guys, lead his guys, right? I don't know if that's the case. Maybe they don't trust Tua to do it like that. Maybe they feel like, hey, I got the play call. This is what we're going to run. I'm going to talk to him. Let's go do it, right? So I mean, it's interesting, bro. It's interesting to see the dynamic, the growth, how Mike McDaniel communicates with him. It honestly looks like, father-son relationship almost, and just trusting one another. Hey, you got it. Go out there and do it, bro.
Well,
This is what
well,
you do.
absolutely, CB. But I could take it one step further. In that same episode of Hard Knocks at halftime, look at the conversation between Tua and Teron Armstead, right? Teron Armstead is a 10-year veteran. He's been an all-pro player in this league, right?
Yeah.
He's standing next to Tua, all attention on Tua, and Tua's telling him, listen, I don't give a damn how it gets done. I don't care how you want to do it. Just get it done.
Just
Right?
get it done.
That's leadership, bro. For a fourth-year guy that everybody told me his confidence was shot, right? To see the growth in talking to an all-pro player. Now, he might not be playing at the level right now, but again,
he's still your guy. Like, he's still your guy.
he's
and that's
the guy, right? He's a veteran. And for Tua to have that gravitas, right, to grab that guy at halftime and say, listen, get the job done, right? We need you. I need you. This team needs you. Again, that's another illustration of the growth in Tua to have, again, I say gravitas, right? Like the gall, the nuts, right?
Bro.
To go up to
the huevos.
the huevos, right? You see what I'm saying? To go up to a guy like that, it just shows tremendous growth. And bro, these are the things that we're starting to see now. Besides the play, to your point, I think it's great leadership, right? Like, he's starting to figure it out, to get it, that this is his team. We all believe in him. The team believes in him. The fans, the organization, everybody. And I think it's glowing out of Tua right now. It really is.
That's that Tua Leroy, boy.
I brought that glow for you.
Bro, that's that glow. And honestly, man, players sometimes they get to franchises and they get beat down, right? And it's just a process, right? It's like, hey, get beat down to get built back up. And I think now Tua's finally, he's flourishing, bro. He's coming into his own. He's a family man. He's got kids now. I think it's a process, right? And I don't think you can rush the process. I think it just has to happen organically. I think everything that happened during the Brian Flores era was so necessary, bro. I think it was necessary to get him to where he is today. And I think if he looks back on it, he'd be like, damn, like, I didn't like the situation, but, I learned from it a lot. And I think he'll appreciate it. And I think when he looks back on his career, he'll be like, damn, Brian Flores was tough on me, but, it taught me how to just, put my head down and go to work. And I think now you can see that he's that guy that is kind of taking on that leadership role, and he's just kind of like flourishing in the role, like focused on, hey, let's do what we need to do to get this win. Let's go out here and execute. Let's do our job and do it to the best of our ability. So just really excited to see that, man. Really, I mean, because we don't get a chance to see it a lot, bro. We don't get a chance to peek behind the curtain. So I love to see it. I love where we are as a team. This Ravens game will be fun, bro. I think it's going to be a real fun game. I think it's a business trip. The Miami Dolphins has to treat it as such. They go up there, handle business, and get out of there at 1 o'clock on Sunday, man. And I don't think the weather will, be a factor or anything like that. I think it's going to be, maybe 50 degrees, 60 degrees. And I think the Dolphins have a great opportunity in front of them. I think this team is destined to do really good things. And we'll see how it plays out.
Listen, I agree. I'm not going to say we're blowing the Ravens out. I don't think it's like that. I think it's a nip and tuck game. I think these two teams are very evenly matched, right? The Baltimore Ravens are going to pose a problem for this team. It's not, this is not a cakewalk by any stretch of the imagination. But I'll be honest, CB, and I think I had already told you this. I was more worried last week with Dallas than I am with Baltimore. And it might sound crazy.
Nah, I said the same thing, bro.
I think Miami realizes the magnitude of what this means, right?
Yeah.
And because I've been listening, I live, breathe, die this football team. I watch every presser. I'm listening to what the team, and when you just hear, again, listen to Teron Armstead and his presser. Look at Bradley Chubb. Look at Tyreek.
Guys are
Look at
locked
Tua.
in. Yeah.
Bro, these guys are locked in. To your point, it's not just a regular football game. It's a mindset of, I love the word you just said, business trip, right? Go into Baltimore, let your nuts hang, show the league, put the league on notice that Miami has arrived, and get out of there with a win. And listen, tough game, but I do think our boys do pull it out this Sunday, CB. I think when Sunday afternoon we look up and we're the number 1 seed and we're the overall best team in the AFC.
For sure. And shout out to the homie Doc. He says leadership looks a certain way at it looks like Tua in those moments. And I agree with you, Doc. Man, I think Tua's finally coming into his own. I think he's confident. He's healthy this year. I think that means a lot for his confidence too. Just knowing that, hey, I have the ability to stay out here, stay in the paint for my guys, and stay down and ready to fight. So we'll see, man. Tua is undefeated against Lamar. And I know it's these wins are a team accolade, but I feel comfortable going into this one. I do feel comfortable. I think the Ravens are kind of underestimating what we did in the offseason, especially with the additions that we made. Vic Fangio kind of brought in some of his guys to implement his system, and I think it's going to give Lamar some real trouble. I think so. And like I said, I agree with you. I think this matchup will be a better matchup for us, and I think we'll win by more points. I think I want to see us win by 10 points, right? I think it's possible in this game. 2 scores. I think we can get some turnovers, force Lamar into some tough situations where he ends up fumbling the ball and we end up getting on it. I can see Van Ginkel having one of those crazy plays or Siler having one of those crazy defensive plays. But, man, this one is going to be one for the books. And last week, the Dallas versus Miami game was one of the most watched games in NFL history, right? What do you think this one's going to do this week, bro?
This one, again, bro, this is the game of the week. This is the most expected game, right? All eyes are on this game. And, man, it's going to be tough, but I really do think, again, just the mindset of this football team, they're ready to go. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think, again, they understand. This is not, bro, this team hasn't lost back-to-back games all season, CB. They're one of I think, two teams. I think it was them and the Ravens are the only 2 teams that have not lost back-to-back games this season. So, they're playing well. I think they understand the magnitude. Mm-hmm. And, man, I give us a shot. Now, I don't think we'll win by 10. I had already gave my score prediction. I think it's 26-23. That's what I'm going with. I think it's going to be close. I think, again, I think what we kind of seen last week, I think it's 23-23. I think Tua gets the ball, and I think the offense closes it out, right? I think that's what we all want to see. And I think for the narratives, for the naysayers of Tua, McDaniel, this offense in general, I think those are the guys at the end of the day that are on the field last. They're the ones that close this thing out. Jason Sanders, the Sandman, comes and kicks the game winner. But I think offensively, we look back, CB, at the end of the day, they put a drive together late to win the game. That's what I'm calling for. That's what I think.
I like it, man. I like it. I think it's going to be like a 30-20 type of game somewhat. I feel like we end up getting the win by 2 scores. I like us on the road in this one. I don't know it's going to be a hard-fought game. But I think we're going to force, like I said, I think we're going to force them into some bad situations. I think defensively, they underestimate us. And I think offensively, we got to get going a little bit. Like that run game's got to get going. And we got to be able to attack them. I mean, Tua literally picked them apart last year from start to finish. I mean, he had a couple bad throws where he was forcing it, right? He was forcing it into some bad situations, putting the ball where it really didn't need to be. But when I look back on the game, bro, they came out and had a kick return right off the break, right?
Mm-hmm.
They had a kick return. They go up 7-0. Then they also had like a long-ass play, a long-ass slant to Bateman, right?
We had a mix-up in coverage, I believe, where Lamar took off for 75-yard touchdown.
Yep.
I don't see that happening this week.
And that's what I'm saying. So they had 21 points in huge plays. They got a kick return, they got a long-ass pass, and then they got a long-ass run, right? That's 21 points right there, right?
Right.
I don't think the Dolphins defense and special teams is giving up those type of plays. They're going to force them to get every yard they can get, and they're going to force these guys to play underneath, right? So I don't think it's going to be any big plays. They may score, but it's going to be methodically down the field. That's what the Dolphins has done for the most part. They've done a good job of limiting the long plays. And even when CeeDee Lamb got going last game, and he scored that huge touchdown, it was like, all right, let's find a way to limit that. Let's not let that happen again. And it never happened for the rest of the game. So I just want to see these guys come out and make the plays I know they're capable of making. And, bro, this should be a really good game. Should be a really good game.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it, man. Lou, I appreciate you coming on. I really appreciate everybody coming out and checking us out. We got 50 in the room right now. Punch the like for us. Me and Lou will be doing some stuff more often for sure. The homie's ready to work, man. He ready to get going, man, right?
Hey, listen, man. I think these conversations like this, and again, for the people, you said we got 50 in the room, CB. Listen, me and CB are not always going to see eye to eye, right? Like,
it's just really working out that way right now. I mean, and that's the crazy thing.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like, we can be positive. We're going to talk good about the team when they're playing good. CB will throw his homer hat on more than I will. But at the end of the day, CB, I told you this privately. I'll say it now on the air. I much rather have conversations like these where even if we, let's say, disagree, it's not going to be yelling, screaming over a 10-person panel. And I think, look, we got people in the chat. They're absolutely loving what you're saying. They're loving what I'm saying. They're engaged. Mm-hmm. I think these are the conversations the community needs, right? And again, bro, listen, we've had our, run-ins in the past, and I'm sure we'll have them again.
Of course we will.
It's been, I'll be honest, and again, I can't believe I'm saying it's going to come off a little bit soft. Maybe it's the holiday season, but I really do enjoy I really do enjoy these conversations, CB, and yeah, bro, listen, we got to keep doing it because, again, I think these are the conversations the community really needs. So.
Yeah. And like you said, there will be pushback at times. Like, even, I know, like, you felt like, hey, Tua missed some throws in that game and in the last game. And honestly, I agree with you in that. Like, those out routes and some of those routes late in the game, he needs to be able to make some of those throws. And some of those throws are game-changing throws. Like, you put yourself into a position where you're not scoring 3 points, but you're scoring touchdowns. Right. So he definitely needs to be better in some instances. And we try our best to be objective for sure and just try to, call it even, call it like it is. We aren't going to spend too much time on the hate, on the bad stuff. We're going to spend too much time on the good stuff. We're going to recognize it. Hey, good throw. Hey, bad throw. Keep it moving for sure.
Absolutely.
Hey, appreciate you coming through, bro. It's always love. We'll get it going again. We'll probably crank up something in the next couple of days and just kind of discuss where we are. I know the injury report will be coming out. We'll see if some of these guys are going to be ready to go or if they're not. Also, the Ravens have some key injuries that we need to kind of discuss too. So we'll definitely get there, man. But I appreciate you coming through, Lou.
Hey, always, CB, man. Hey, everybody, y'all have a good night. CB, we'll be in touch, homie.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you coming through, my boy. Later. Shout out to the homie Lou for coming through, always showing love, always pulling up. Me and Lou will be doing something weekly for sure, always. And we'll come up with some creative stuff to discuss, some topics of conversation. I'm definitely going to do probably an open panel in the next couple of days to kind of get everybody on. I know everybody's been itching to talk about this game and about the team. We'll do something a little chaotic in the next couple of days, and just let you guys come up and talk and have some fun with it. You know how we do, man. So, hey, I really appreciate you guys coming through. If you want to support, join the Patreon. That's pinned to the link. It's pinned to the chat. It's the link there. Like I said, appreciate the support. If you could just punch the like button for me or the dislike, hey, that helps a lot. Helps a lot. Helps the channel spread. It helps, us, get higher in the algorithm. So, hey, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Hey, have a fantastic night. You already know what time it is. It's your boy, Vince State with CB83, and it was your boy, Lou. Appreciate y'all coming through, and we are out. See ya. One more.
Came from the bottom, that's foreign. I swear that I'm.
Hey, and check this out. I will be on the AFC East, the Miami Dolphins Roundtable tomorrow. Be sure to subscribe over there. Miami Dolphins Roundtable tomorrow with me, Doug, TD, and a special guest. This is one you won't want to miss. Be sure to be over there. We will be over there tomorrow, AFC East Roundtable at 7:30 p.m. Pull up on your boy. Appreciate y'all coming through. Like, again, appreciate the support everything that supports me, AFC East Roundtable, all that good stuff, man. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. See y'all tomorrow on the Roundtable. Don't miss it. This is one you won't want to miss. I'm telling you right now. This is the show. Dolphins versus Ravens, Miami Dolphins Roundtable. Y'all know we had a best roundtable on Roundtable Sports, on AFC East Roundtable. Stop playing with us. Stop playing with us. Shout out. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Hey, Tua Leroy, the glow, baby.
Let me go, motherfucker, let me go.
Hey, I had to show y'all the real one, right? Now I'm going to show y'all the Tua Leroy joint. This the Tua Leroy joint.
All right, Leroy. Who's the one and only master?
I Let me go, motherfucker, let me go.
Y'all already know Oos Leroy in the building. Shout out to the homie. DG Live. I see you, my boy. We got a link, dog. Shout out to everybody who came through, man. Y'all know what time it is, man. Do the Miami Dolphins get the big dub on Sunday?
I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope so, man. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. It's your boy Fence with CB83, and I'm out. See ya.
Came from the bottom, right now.